Otto Skorzeny was an Austrian-born lieutenant colonel in the Waffen SS during World War II. He took part in the invasion of the Soviet Union with the SS Division Das Reich and subsequently fought in several battles on the Eastern Front. In January 1942, Skorzeny was hit in the back of the head by shrapnel. He was evacuated to the rear for treatment. He had previously been awarded the Iron Cross, second class, while fighting in the Yelnya bridgehead. Recuperating from his injuries, he was given a staff position in Berlin, where he developed his ideas on unconventional commando warfare. Skorzeny's proposals were to develop units specialized in such warfare, including partisan-like fighting deep behind enemy lines. He became famous when he and some members of his unit liberated Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator. On September 12, 1943, Skorzeny and 16 SS troopers joined the German paratroopers to rescue Mussolini in a high-risk glider mission, which involved 10 light assault gliders, each carrying 9 soldiers and a pilot. The paratroopers and Skorzeny's special forces overwhelmed Mussolini's 200 captors without a single shot being fired. This was also due to the fact that a high-ranking Italian police officer, who flew in with Skorzeny, told them to stand down. Skorzeny attacked the radio operator and his equipment and stormed into the hotel, being followed by his SS troopers and the paratroopers. Subsequently, Mussolini was flown. The operation granted a rare public relations opportunity to Germany late in the war, with German propaganda hailing the operation for months afterward. The operation was in fact planned and carried out by paratrooper officers, but Skorzeny stewarded the Italian leader right in front of the cameras. Skorzeny and his special forces of the Waffen SS were granted the majority of the credit for the operation. Skorzeny received a promotion to major, the award of the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross, and the fame that led to his image as the most dangerous man in Europe. In 1970, a cancerous tumor was discovered on Skorzeny's spine. 2 tumors were later removed while he was staying at a hospital in Hamburg, leaving him temporarily paralyzed. Skorzeny died of lung cancer on July 5, 1975 in Madrid. He was 67 years old. Skorzeny never denounced Nazism. He was given a Catholic funeral in Madrid on August 7, 1975. His funerals in Madrid and later in Vienna were attended by former SS colleagues who gave the Hitler salute, and also sang some of Hitler's favorite songs. But in the last weeks of the war, Skorzeny was involved in another special operation which relatively unknown. This operation was the largest bank robbery in history. Since the end of World War II, stories about the hidden treasures of the Nazis have captivated the imagination of ordinary people and treasure hunters the world around. Although stories about mythical treasures have been greatly exaggerated throughout the years, the Nazis had managed to amass large numbers of gold, currency, valuables, and artwork during their invasion and occupation of Europe. During the final days of the war, a group of SS troops robbed the Reichsbank, Nazi Germany's central bank, and escaped with more than $130 million. But although the Nazi regime was about to collapse, its main bank, the Reichsbank, was stoked with money and loot from the invasions and occupations of Europe. The total amount inside the bank's vault was valued at approximately $3.5 billion in today's dollars. In February 1945, the Reichsbank was partially destroyed during a massive Allied air raid. Approximately 950 B-17 flying fortresses leveled downtown Berlin, damaging several buildings, including the central bank. Although the 5,000 or so employees of the bank managed to survive the air raid by taking shelter in the building's underground bunkers, the upper stories were all but destroyed. Hitler then decided to move and disperse as much of the treasure as possible to prevent it from being destroyed. Gold, money, and other loot were distributed in hiding sites in southern Germany and Austria, presumably as a way to fund an insurgency in the event of an Allied occupation of Germany. Hitler chose the Merkers potassium mine, a very deep mine about 200 miles southwest of Berlin. There, the Nazis moved over 100 tons of gold, in addition to gold coins, paper currency, and other valuables, such as artworks. The total value of the Nazi gold that was moved at the mine was about $520 million at the time, which in today's money amounts to approximately $8 billion. It included 3,682 bags and cartons of German marks, 80 bags of foreign currency, 4,173 bags containing 8,307 gold bars, 55 boxes of gold bullion, 3,326 bags of gold coins, 63 bags of silver, 1 bag of platinum bars, 8 bags of gold rings, and 207 bags and containers of SS loot. The shift advance of General Patton's Third Army, however, captured the Merkers mine before the Germans could move any of the treasure. In April 1945, the Red Army finally reached the capital of Germany. The Reichsbank was emptied in mid-April and treasure was sent to Bavaria in southern Germany. This included more than $3 billion in paper currencies. The SS High Command who had escaped from Berlin chose SS Colonel Joseph Spassel, who had remained in Berlin, to lead the bank heist. Spassel had commanded a police unit in the occupied Netherlands at the start of the war and was a wanted war criminal among the Allies. From March 1, 1944 he became Chief of Section 2 of the Reich Security Main Office. This office had administered the assets everyone knew had been stolen from those shipped off to slave labor and death camps. Spassel had issued a flurry of decrees aimed at extricating wealth from overrun cities and territories in the East. On April 22, with the Soviets already at the gates of Berlin, Spassel and his men arrived at the Reichsbank with trucks. Weapons in hand, they entered the building and ordered the employees to open the vaults. They took everything they could transport, including paper currency, diamonds, jewelry, and bonds. But they left any gold that was in the vaults behind as they didn't want to be slowed down by the weight. The SS troops loaded the loot in the trucks and drove off to a nearby airfield that was still in German hands. There they boarded waiting Junkers 52 transport airplanes for the trip to Austria. Once in Austria, the SS troops found out that American and French mechanized forces were approaching. So they hid much of the loot in several different places around Salzburg for future use, while taking a lot for themselves in the process. Here they met Otto Skorzeny for further instructions. Spassel, Skorzeny, and their men dispersed and either went to the mountains to hide or mingled under disguise with the surrendering German forces. On May 8, 1945, Spassel changed into an ordinary army uniform and joined a group of retreating soldiers surrendering to U.S. troops. Spassel gave a fake name and rank. However, his real identity was soon revealed and after interrogation he was persuaded to show American counterintelligence corps officers the location of the buried treasure. Following their interrogation, the CIC described Spassel as a fanatical Nazi and suspected the former SS officer of having secreted some of the cash to another location, but were unable to prove anything. Skorzeny was also captured and interrogated but never revealed the position of the hidden treasure. 3 years later, Hitler's commando, Skorzeny, escaped and later resurfaced in Spain, where he lived in extreme luxury. He went on to use his money and influence to fund an escape network that helped SS and German war criminals escape to South America. To this day, approximately $6 billion from the Reichsbank remains unaccounted for. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and to make sure you don't miss my future work, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you and see you in the next video.